There's still so much about it that's massive. It's not an official derby, but that's why I think it makes it even bigger. But that all being said, Man United looking for two wins on the bounce for only the second time in 2.5 years. Fuck, that's a mad stat. That's not even an Amorim stat. That's a Man United stat, that. Liverpool, though, are staring down the barrel of potentially losing 4 games on the bounce. And I don't know about you, gentlemen, but I think there could be absolute carnage in that fan base if they were to lose to this Manchester United team. Mo, I'm going to go to you first. I was obviously in the group chats earlier. I asked you and Sam actually individually, like, what do you think of this? And Husam's words were, Liverpool must beat Manchester United. Do you agree with that? Is this like must win for Liverpool on every level?
Yeah, must win, not even a draw. It's a meltdown if Liverpool actually lose any points in this game. A meltdown, to be honest with you. For Man United, all you have to go out is just go and just perform well. It's not a problem if you lose the game even by 2+ goal margins. If Liverpool don't win, it's a calamity. Actually, losing points in 4 consecutive games, especially at Anfield. Like, to be honest with you, like Manchester United going to Anfield, you have like a 1% to 5% chance to actually get anything out of that game, in my opinion, especially with Liverpool losing back to back to back. If Liverpool like lose points, it's a disaster. I don't see a world where Liverpool actually don't win, not even a draw, don't win the game, right? I think even if you're going to defend and do it, Liverpool are going to break you down. Manchester United are not in a good place. And I don't know, people, like, the problem is now, Man United fans, you guys open the door for some Liverpool fans to say, it's a big game in derbies like this. We don't know everything. The form goes out of the window and all this crying thing that they do. I get it. But currently, where the two teams at, Man United should not go with
it's
hope.
Crying to say it's a difficult game because it's a derby.
Yeah, 100%.
How's that crying?
Yeah, because listen, where Man United are at now and where Liverpool are at, even though you lost 3 games, you're not going to sit here and tell me that, yes, Man United are coming to our ground and actually going to get points. If this was Arsenal, you would say that Arsenal must win the game. Don't tell me about form. Don't talk about form. You would actually put the pressure on Arsenal to win the game. But you're like, yeah, it's a derby. If the rules are reversed, you would say that Arsenal must win. And I see that Man United should not even get a point. It doesn't matter. Definitely, you should win this game and you must win. And on paper, anybody will put their money on Liverpool winning this game. I don't believe that anybody would actually think that Man United go in there to actually get even a point. I'll be very surprised. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to do a 0%, right? Like other people do. I'm not going to do that. But footballing wise, Liverpool should win the game against Man United. This is not, and also because Man United this season are not a defensive team. They attacked Arsenal, they attacked City. They're not like Erik ten Hag when he used to sit back and actually earn the point, or even Amorim last season. Man United create some good chances. Man United go forward. They don't play defensive. And Liverpool, I think they should win the game. And I think they will win the game, to be honest with you. I think they will win the game.
They have to win the game. There is no if, buts, or mayabees about it. This is a must-win game right here. It's not just a disaster. Forget emergency meeting. We're going to have nuclear bunker meetings. I'm going to invite Tom Little to Switzerland and sit in one of those nuclear bunkers and stream over there from the caves for a week if we lose to Man United, because it's just an absolute disaster. We cannot lose to Man United in any way, shape, or form. We just can't. Specifically get on the back-to-back losses. We can't make it back-to-back losses. It's just we can't in any way, shape, or form. And I agree with Mo in terms of draw as well is a horrendous result for us. Draw is a fantastic result for Man United. It's who they are right now. It's no longer 15 years ago. That's just who Man United are right now. Draw away at Anfield. Ooh, wow. So that's why for me it's a must-win game. And on paper we have the way better team. That's why I can't even disagree with Mo. Like, I really can't. Like, the team we have out there on paper should be able to beat them. But football's not just played on paper, because we couldn't beat Achimpong and Badiashile. We couldn't beat Davinson Sanchez. We couldn't beat Eddie Nketiah. Football is not just played on paper. Slot has to put out the correct system, the correct style in order for us to beat Man United. I can't be relying on individual brilliance again or a moment of magic again. I need us to perform as a collective, and I need us to have the correct tactics out there, play the correct players in their correct positions, and stop bullshitting. And that's how we win the game.
Sam, do you know what makes it a bit more of a trickier and a spicier game for you boys? Yes,
because you want it to be. Because
no, and you'll get my point here. It's because you play Sunday, yeah, and we play Saturday. Last season, you didn't have any pressure. You faced zero pressure from anyone, really. You still done your job, and I'm never going to take it away from Liverpool. They were fantastic over the course of 38 games. But you never had any pressure. When you dropped games, when you played first, you dropped points. No one ever caught you up. Everyone let you off the hook. And sort of similar for vice versa. Now, we see something different with Arsenal. And I know we'll talk about Arsenal in a little bit, so I won't drag on with this. We've seen 2 different weekends, and the last 2 match days, you dropping points, us gaining points. Us getting points, you dropping points because we put pressure on you. You lost it against Liverpool, against Chelsea, rather. We're the first time you've really been put under pressure probably in about 14, 15 months. If Arsenal do go away against a tricky opponent for Fulham away, we found it tricky there, by the way. Drew and lost there last 2 visits. We could essentially be 4 points ahead. Now that is putting that further more pressure on you boys. I don't think a draw is good enough. You know, and
this has nothing to do with pressure. This has nothing to do with pressure. You're going down a rabbit hole here. This has absolutely nothing to do with pressure. And also, when you say we didn't have pressure, when you say we didn't have pressure last season, define. What do you mean we didn't have pressure last season?
No, more so from your rivals. You know, gaining. Yeah.
The league title was done in November, basically.
Yeah. But you know, even still,
no league titles ever done in November. Have some shame.
Actually,
if Arsenal beat West Ham, they would have been 2 points behind us in March.
Oh, but they didn't.
Wow, so that's my fault.
But they didn't.
How does that mean there is no pressure?
The league was done by New Year's Day.
But it debunks your no pressure point. So Arsenal could have been 2 points. Arsenal could have been 2 points behind us in March, but no pressure.
To win the league, other than Liverpool, by Christmas Day. The league was
not that early, LB, but yeah, I would say February, March. Like early, like
February, exactly.
February. You were sat there on Christmas Day thinking that someone else was going to win the league other than Liverpool.
Well, I watched Husam on his channel actually have an emergency meeting and said, I'm worried about Arsenal.
Bro. That's Husam. I'm asking you.
But Husam is a barometer of the facts.
But he's emotional. I'm asking you. You're not emotional. Answer the question.
Say that again.
Christmas Day last year, did you think anyone else was going to win the league other than Liverpool? No, you didn't.
I thought Liverpool are favourites by a country mile.
Exactly, that's the point that Aaron's making. There was no pressure.
No, but hold on. There is a difference. Hold on. There is a massive difference by this, guys. There is a massive difference by this. By February, really, and you guys did it. You guys do all here are content creators. Literally, February, March, it was dead. If it wasn't for the Champions League, it would have been dead because at that time, but before in January, December, remember LB, when in January, Arsenal was still going for a striker. People were talking about Oli Watkins. People were talking about they're going to try to sign a striker and maybe they'll catch Liverpool. Liverpool don't have depth.
And even after that, we drew Aston Villa away and
then Havertz got injured. Man. Arsenal didn't sign. February started. Arsenal dropped points.
Okay.
Liverpool won and it was gone.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Husam, let me ask you a question here. Do you think there is more or less pressure going into the last 10 games of the season if you have a 10 to 15 point gap over Arsenal, or Arsenal are a point or two ahead of you? What consists of more pressure?
The second scenario.
There we go. So if we can play semantics, there's always an element of pressure. But
so you just gave an extreme example to tell.
No.
Also, though, why would
we 10 points ahead of Arsenal at any point in time?
Husam, what you've done though is you haven't let me finish my point. We all knew what Aaron meant, even if his words could be. We all know what he meant by there wasn't any pressure. He means there wasn't any pressure in the run-in from a rival. Of course, there is pressure on you to not collapse and throw it away. Of course, there is an element of pressure still, but we all knew exactly what.
With that, though.
All that's happened is Sam's jam's been taken out his donut, and he's a little upset.
Of course, but you know exactly.
No, I'm not upset. I just think you're waffling.
Aaron, we all understand what Aaron meant by his comment that this year there's going to be more pressure. Yes, saying that you had no pressure last year can be pushed back on, but we all know exactly what he means by that statement.
Terry that always responds to specifics now all of a sudden wants to respond to what a guy means because it agrees with his logic.
Because
you're so specific with your arguments, Terry. You actually argue word for word what the other person said.
Because
He said when he first started speaking, there was no pressure on Liverpool. Factually, is that the correct statement? No. So that's what I'm disagreeing.
But now what you're doing is being pedantic, and that isn't what I do when I'm specific with my words. Is I'm not being pedantic. It's then been re-explained by LB, by me, by Aaron, by lots of people in the comment section. So yes, maybe, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Aaron. Aaron could have worded it slightly different, but he's re-explained and we've backed up what he meant by that comment. So let's take away the original comment of Liverpool had no pressure last year. Liverpool had no pressure in the run-in from a rival club. Agree or disagree?
Well. Again, I disagree.
Can I apologise to Sam for not have a doctorate in the English?
We drew away to Aston Villa. 2-2. Arsenal were playing West Ham at home with Jared Bowen playing as striker. And they're expected to beat West Ham at home, even with the team that they had out there. Had they beat West Ham at home, they would have been 2 points behind us. So yes, there was pressure. They then proceeded to lose to West Ham at home and then draw to Nottingham Forest away. And we beat Newcastle after. So when he says there was no pressure, there were many moments last season where Arsenal played before us, they lost, so we had to win. So yes, there was pressure. There were many moments where City were still in the title race, they lost, and we had to win after. There were many moments where
last year,
there were many moments where Arsenal played before us and won game.
What? What are you talking about, bro? Our season's done in September, lad.
Okay. Whether you like it or not, pressure does not happen only in the last 2 months of the season. Pressure is on from August. That's why we're having a conversation about Liverpool Man United in October.
I said the run-in.
But 1 second. We were having a conversation about Liverpool Man United in October, and I said it's a must-win game. So is there pressure on Liverpool to win this Sunday, LB?
Yes.
But why is there pressure? It's not May, it's not March, it's not April. So there should be no pressure.
This year,
using all three of you guys is stupid logic.
Because this year it feels like there's genuine threat to your chances of winning the title.
So at the beginning of last season, it didn't feel for the first 6 months that Arsenal are a genuine threat. We're gonna lie now, right?
We're
gonna pretend we didn't hear Arsenal fans the entirety of the beginning of last year for the first.
Bro, I called Liverpool winning the league in like October, November.
When Odegaard comes back, we're gonna win games.
I can't speak for anybody else, Sam, other than myself. And last year, I called Liverpool winning the league in like October, November, and we're already halfway through this.
That's not my point. But
I can't speak for other people. I can only speak.
You're
for
responding
myself.
to something I didn't say.
Sam, if I'd have said there wasn't as much pressure as Liverpool as there could have been, would that have made you feel a bit better?
It's not about feeling.
I'm sorry I didn't word it the way you like.
Make a false statement.
I will learn. I'm a new YouTuber.
You cannot make a false statement and then say, "Oh, it would make you feel better." Yeah, but
we all know what I meant, though. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to.
No, I didn't know what you mean. You said there's no pressure.
Yeah, I think we did. We all got it.
We all did, but don't worry.
Sam, though, do you know what's funny though about last year? There was less pressure at the beginning of last year, and we want to remember why. You were one who was pushing that less pressure by doing the pussycat in the tree thing. We're lepers in the tree. We're not the favorites. We're just going to see what happens. You did that last year. Secondly, a lot of people laughed at the idea of you being in the title race. Therefore, when you were in it, when you were winning early, when you went top, there was. Do you remember last year's narrative about Liverpool? It was they haven't played anybody yet. When they get tested, they'll get found out. That, I think, relieves a certain amount of pressure from a fan base and from a squad. This season is different. £419 million spent. You've not been playing particularly great. There's definitely more pressure going into this game at Anfield against Man United.
I already said that an hour ago.
Yeah, so we agree then that there is more pressure going into this game compared to the same fixture last year and this early on in the season, because the expectation around Liverpool was different because they were the outright favourites. You said at the beginning of the year, feet are up all season, which means what you're implying by that, and I think we all agree, is we are going to cakewalk this league. It hasn't started in that way. Therefore, there is far more pressure. Now, this is a different test for this group under Arne Slot. Do they handle the pressure? Does he handle the pressure? To act like last season's pressure and this season's pressure are even close, I think is severely didisingenuous.
I didn't say that at all.
That's how it came across. Putting it out there.
Finish your point now that we've corrected you.
No, that's all right. I can't be asked.
Full circle back.
I think we've all finally realised that look, your balloon's a little bit burst. Don't worry about it. I can't even remember it now. Do you know what I mean?
Away.